Let's go. It's your boy Betta. You already know it gets better. Be back. Coming from the hard streets of the South Bronx. 82's a year you. What we gonna do right here is go back. What we gonna do right here is go back. What we gonna do right here is go back. Now I need to know how you feel. I need you to keep it real. I have some things that's on my mind. Hopefully you can give me the answer now. I need to know if I have your trust. I'm out here doing me, but I'm doing that for us. I need to know if I'm your friend to the end, and if I sin, you forgive me again and again.
Yeah. What's up, man? What's going on, Connecticut? New Britain, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's BettaTheProducer, straight from the Bronx. Born and raised in the South Bronx, but now I'm uptown, Gun Hill, representing Co-op City, Section 5, Boston, Edenwald, Eastchester, the whole. That's what it is. That's the vibe.
Alright. Man, alright. And just, for viewership's sake, I know I asked this off air. How exactly so far has your stay been so far? I was coming from New York.
Well, it's about a 2-hour drive, not too bad. It was cool. Unfortunately, I'm not from the area. It's hard to decipher which is a good area or not. So I'm not in the best area, but we from the slums, we from the trenches, so we know how to make it work. We know how to adapt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't the best, but not everything's going to be the best. So like I said, we adapt and we on the agenda. So we got plans, so we got to follow through. So everything good, man. No complaints.
Alright. So I guess we're just gonna get straight into this little interview here, because I've been meaning to have this set up for quite a while actually. So I'm actually happy that we got this going. So
yeah.
I'm gonna start off with a few basic questions. At least in your career, who have you enjoyed working with the most in your 20-year career?
Wow, that's a good one. Each artist, each producer brings something special to the table. I would have to say it's going to be between Wyclef Jean, from the mainstream. As far as independent artists, there's an artist by the name of Vaughn. There he go, which featured on the track that I was on. Wyclef, because he's a musician, so in creating with him, not knowing and not predicting where he's going with the production was just like perfect. It was perfect for me. And also being able to film, I learned how to perform. I learned how to gauge crowds. Like that's where I got my chops in performing through him. So it was exciting working with him. And then as far as Vaughn, there he go. He's multi-talented. He could take a harmony, a melody. He could take a flow and flip it a million different ways. And I learned from that. So anyone I can learn from is going to be an exciting experience. So them two off the rip, I say were the most exciting experiences, and those two I would love to be in the studio with.
Yeah, I'm always looking to try to learn, like I said before in our initial emails, trying to learn from anyone who's pretty much just been around for a while. I'm excited to just try to get going, especially where I am now. But yeah, next I want to pretty much just ask about something that I'm not sure how long ago it necessarily was when you were there, but that you were on, I'm assuming a podcast or some sort of thing. It was He's On With Monkey.
Yeah, that was recent. That was last Thursday actually.
Last Thursday.
Yeah, and shout out to Monkey. Has a great platform, and we was able to talk music, talk personal, and the thing about music, there's always another side to it. There's things like what happens when you're not in the studio, what happens when you're not creating. Those things make you the artist that you are. So she was kind of coming from the standpoint of who are you for the music, and that makes it easier to understand who I am as a musician, as an artist. So it was a dope interview.
Yeah. I wanted to try to get you to I guess kind of elaborate on certain parts where it was just putting yourself first as the artist and whatnot after your deals, and then working with other artists, and you, at least one of the clips posted that you had was you helping other artists, and
see you did your homework. All right. Yeah, it's rare to come across an interviewer that actually studies what you've been doing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of questions is just the broad questions. You go into the past and things of that nature and other interviews that shows you did your homework. Yeah, like I said before, working with even mainstream artists. If let's say if I was to work with Gucci Mane, for example, and we got this project, which happens to me before, not with Gucci, but with another mainstream artist. We put in all this work for this album, and for whatever reason, it never came out. So that's all that work I never got really paid for, because we're supposed to get paid on the back end with the royalties. Yeah. I'm telling all my friends, yo, I'm on this album, I'm excited. It never comes out. And after, like, example after experience after experience, of that happening, it was like, I gotta put myself in a position where I call the shots. Because if I tie up with this, I tie up with that, if they say, hey, I don't want to do music no more, which happened, if they say, hey, I'm retired, I've been in the game, I'm good, which has happened, I'm there like, okay, what about me? So the best thing I can do is put myself in a position as the artist so I can call the shots. So I retire when I want to retire. I stop putting out music when I want to stop putting out music. So it's about having that kind of control. And for me, I need that, being the musician and producer that I am. Because I can't put and I'm not no longer going to put my faith and my trust in the artists, especially these established artists. Because if the next thing pop off and they get to the bigger bag, this project is pushed to the side. And now they on tour or they doing a movie where I'm just like, okay, what about the album?
Yeah, what about it?
Right. So, yeah. So I recommend producers out there. Maybe you don't have the gift or the skills to be the artist, but find something else where you're not depending on this artist, because at any given moment they can be like, all right, I'm good, and then you out there like, okay, what's next? And that's a horrible feeling. Yeah, because like we put everything into this. You know, we put everything into this. So,
like, especially if you want to be as like adaptable and like flexible, or try to put yourself out there, like the optimist.
right.
And other producers like them. Like for me, I honestly believe he's like the ghost of his producer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, but yeah, another thing I guess that I want to get into, at least since we're on the topic of money, if you wouldn't necessarily mind like delving into the math of like how hard it can be when it comes to streaming versus like purchasing songs. Because at one video I saw that you had did the math out. For the people at home that don't necessarily know what goes into it and how hard it can be. If you wouldn't mind letting.
Oh yeah, definitely. To in layman terms, I know not everybody understands business. So if you stream my record right now, it'll register as less than a penny that I made for you listening to my record. But if you went to Amazon and bought the single, now I have $1.29 in my account, opposed to that less than a penny. So for everybody at home, y'all can do the math. It's not going to add up, and that's one of the things that happened to the industry over years. That's the curse part of it. There's reward, and then gift, and then there's a curse with it. And for up-and-coming artists or independent artists who don't have that budget of $1 million, $2 million, don't have the following of $1 million, $2 million, this is going to be the part where it really hurts. Because even though you see stream this, stream that, it's not going to add up until we have about $1 million, $2 million followers. Even with 1 million streams, that's only probably $10,000 if you did the math. And $6,000 to $10,000. And with the budget, that the things we're trying to do, that's just going to pay the mortgage and pay the bills for a couple of months.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's always about, at the end of the day, as much as you love it, paying the bills.
Yeah. So you have to be crazy to get into this industry and super talented. And I'm both, so that's why I'm willing to do it. And I feel like what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to change the narrative a little bit, where we want to get back to actually purchasing merch and purchasing the well, it's not gonna be CDs, because CDs is like dinosaurs now, but purchasing the MP3s. So that's where the money's at. That, the shows, the walkthroughs, even interviews on a higher platform, because they get paid to come sit down and talk. You know what I mean? So yeah, so we're gonna have to change it up a little bit.
I get it. Like it's kind of a similar thing for me, at least when I'm trying to sit here and hopefully get in anywhere someday.
Right.
Is to hopefully change something after I'm done.
Right.
And it's like a mission statement for me. It's just like to sit here and like do it and change it the way, or the best way possible that I feel that I can change it. And I'll mark somehow.
Right.
But then talking about talents and whatnot, so I would go up and ask, like basically what instruments you play. Because it seems like you play piano and whatnot, and also guitar, the funky and whatnot. You like whatever that you were a pianist and whatnot. But if there were any other instruments you played, or what's your favorites out of all of them?
My favorite hands down is piano. That's what I started on. But one thing, and most musicians will tell you this, once you get started and kind of, I'm not going to say master, but have an understanding of the instrument you're on, it's just a matter of time. If you practice that same amount of energy and time into another instrument, you'll probably be able to play that as well. Probably not on the same level. There's people out there that are masterful in each instrument, right? I'm not going to say that. I'll let you know right now, I am a way better piano player than I am a drummer. Yeah. But I'm a good drummer. I'm a better piano player than I am a bass player, but I can't play bass. So if you get me in a session, I'll play everything. But I'm only going to claim what I really know and what's really my calling, which is that piano, keyboards, and all that. Yeah. That's my thing. Yeah.
Piano was something I was recently, in the past few years.
Okay.
I'm all right at it, but not as well as a drummer as I am. I'm more so a drummer.
All right. Okay.
Anything else?
What's your favorite kit?
Kit is another story. I started with mostly snares, and then afterwards I didn't learn kit like that until I was a senior in high school years ago.
Okay.
But otherwise, like, I'm not that proficient at least in kit. I don't have the independence in my limbs to like completely sit here and do some really crazy stuff that other drummers or like other performers do. Like it was like random people like I've never seen Pac who just
right.
Like just pull something out of nothing. So, like,
I got you.
My God.
I got you.
But actually, I wanted to ask about your thought process on how you make beats, and when you feel they're ready to like just go somewhere, just like head in the vault for like a later point in time.
That's a good question. On the fly, for me, music is something that I have to feel. So if I wake up and I don't feel it, I'm not going to force anything, because I don't want to be erasing it when I come back to it. So this is a waste of time. So I get the inspiration off of anything. It could be a TV show, it could be a car going by past the block, and I hear the horn in a certain key. And then once I hear that, I have a rhythm, so I get that and I start knocking it out. So I'll probably knock out maybe 4 to 5 beats in a day. And that's just like skeleton. As far as having the foundation, and it's good enough for it to go out, so you gotta hear it. Then I'll probably come back and probably add another snare or another rhythm, or just something to like kind of make it full or finish it, like kind of polish it off. The process is just being inspired. With inspiration at this point in my life comes from everything and anything, and I just sit down and I tackle it. Yeah.
So I don't know if you would necessarily could think of this at the top of your head, at least when it came to your thought process when making your record Need to Know.
Okay, Need to Know. I mean, like, you're taking me back a couple of years. So that's matter of fact, that's the maybe a little after the pandemic, like maybe September of 2020. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe it was around that time. Need to Know, I was actually, the inspiration was that I was actually in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And I had projects going out, and I was gaining momentum before the pandemic, and things were going on where the relationship I was in, I was like, yo, if I didn't do this, would you still, if I didn't do that, would you still, almost like a 21 question from like 50.
Yeah.
And so when I thought about it, I actually created it. I said, you know what, let me reach out to 50. I know some people that know him. Let me reach out to him and see if I can get him to do a hook. It won't be crazy, but you know, like, I'd rather ask to get to know than not ask and always wonder, you know, what's going on. Right.
You never know if you can get the hook, you know, sound the way you want it, or even better, you never know.
Right. Because I'm not a singer. I say it in a heartbeat, I'm not a singer. That's why I wrote it for someone that can get away with singing, like a 50 or a Ja Rule. But I know I can't. I got either or. I can't do both. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother issue. So I reached out to Fifth. On multiple different people. I'm not sure if he got it, never got back. I don't know. I never heard anything back from him. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. And I did the record. And I was like, I'm gonna have to put a little twist on it. So every time they hear it, I don't want them to go to 21 questions right away. I want them to hear, like, even though it's a similar concept, I want them to hear what I can do with it. And that's why I put a little spin on it in the video. I had another song in the beginning of it, then switched it into, you know what I mean? So
yeah, you want your side of it, you know
right. Like I tell Ronnie, a lot of my music, I'm not even saying a lot, all of my music comes from personal experience.
As a good amount of those, it makes sense because there's so much stuff that happens in your life.
Yeah. But you have some artists that, you know, will make a story off of his story or her story and make it seem like it's theirs. That's where you have that whole Wayster, like, you know, back on the 50 Cent topic, that whole Wayster, like you're portraying something you're not. From where and how I grew up, we're not allowed to portray something we're not or someone we're not. And if you do, then it's open season. What I mean by open season, it means like now you're a target. Now they gonna mess with you, they gonna test you on everything you say and who you are. Now you're getting all that energy. And it's unwarranted energy. You know what I mean? So
it always sucks to have to deal with that. Especially growing up, it cannot be easy for anybody to just get messed with and the next thing they got a whole bunch of other problems and I wanted to sit here and ask, like, just at least clarification and then ask those. So, what was it that you were exactly with? Was it Hit Factory, Hit Makers?
Oh, I was with the production company Heat Makers is responsible for the Dipset movement, which is Cam and Jim Jones and Jewels. That's what they're known for. Of course, they did production in the industry. You know, Wayne, Flip, Fat Joe, but they're really known for that whole Dipset movement.
Yeah.
So that's who I worked with when I first got into the industry. And through them, I was able to have the experience with Paisley and some other artists, you know. So I gotta give a shout out to Heat Makers and Artists for, you know, using that platform to work with them and meet the people I met. As far as Hit Factory, before I was with Heat Makers, I had a connection to the Hit Factory, which is like one of the biggest, at the time, the biggest studio in New York City. I don't know why 50 is the topic. When 50 got stabbed with Ja Rule, it was in the Hit Factory. So that was a studio, all the artists, before they created their own studios. The Block Club started Platinum Sounds and his cousin. So that studio, everybody was at. So I had a connection to there, so I was recording at Hit Factory. And I was also meeting a lot of celebrities, a lot of artists being there. So that was a dope experience too. But yeah, I got my start with my official industry start. I got with Heat Makers.
Okay. And then how exactly was your experiences when the starting out?
I didn't know till now. Like I was telling someone the other day, when you're in the experience, you don't realize what you learn until you have to apply it down the line.
Yeah.
So through Heat Makers, I learned the importance of your drum sounding a certain way. The business on how to get samples cleared. They did a lot of sampling. How to construct hip hop in a certain way. So Arsonist really taught me a lot, just being in that basement in the Bronx and watching them bang out all these records in one day. I'm talking about multiple records in one day. And we was using floppy disks at the time. So and then we was bouncing the tracks into the computer like 4 or 5 tracks at a time. So it was, I learned a lot. learn a lot.
Okay, and then at least since we're going like kind of close to origin story here, so your name beforehand was Mo Better.
Right.
So what it made you change from like Mo Better to the producer?
Well, it was two things that made me change the name. One, when people will Google the name Mo Better or the artistry or the brand, other Mo Betters pop up. So I seen it was a real common name. I didn't realize how common it was. I thought it just like two other artists from Atlanta had the name. I spoke to one of them and we had a deal. Whoever blew up first with the name, the other one guy dropped it. So, and then as going forth with the artistry, I would they would often ask me the question, what makes you different, what makes you special? I don't really want to say what I think everybody's special, right? So I didn't want to answer that in terms of I'm the better artist. I don't view music like who's better. I view music on how it makes me feel, right? So I wanted to get away from that. But if I had to answer the question, which I had to show and tell what set me apart. And what set me apart was I was a musician outside of being a rapper. I was a producer outside of being a rapper. So how can I convey that to people listening? And half the time people don't even want to listen to your record. They'll probably hear the name, they see you, they won't go look you up. So how can I say it without them even hearing my record? And I put it in the name, Better Than Producer. So now you're like, okay, we know who he is. Now we know what he does. So that's why I think. Yeah.
And then at least throughout your journey as your certain one now, what really pushed you the most to pretty much continue on your path?
The love of music, even without this being a $1 billion industry, I'll still be playing, I'll still be writing. Before I knew this stuff, what I'm doing now was real, when it was just a dream and sometimes you really can't see the manifestation of it, I was still doing it. I just wasn't doing it on this level. So, like I said, whether this industry was created or not, I'll still be doing music. So that's, to answer your question, that's why I pursued it, because that's who I am. Like, you know, my family would say, if you look up music in the dictionary, you'll see my face. Like, it's very difficult for those who know me to separate the two. It's that much a part of me. You know, like I said, I can hear a car go by and get a tune out the horn. You know, the windshield wipers going back and forth. I can pick out a rhythm and change the rhythm from 4/4 to 3/4. It's 6/8. It's in me.
Yeah.
You know,
as soon as you know,
right.
Yeah, you got the language, you know.
Right. So, there's no way for me to escape this. Even if I left the studio right now and said, hey, I'm not doing this no more, I'm not going to record another record, I still have the skill set. I'm still going to be drawn to it. You know.
Yeah. I also wanted to get into something that at least I read on your bio.
Okay.
Can you like give any details or anything of the sort as to like how you appeared on We Got Next magazine?
Oh, okay. We shot a video at another college station in New York, NYU, and in that interview, we met a couple of people that it was an industry thing going on.
Yeah.
And after just networking, I met some people, and it's real simple. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like a big elaborated destiny type of situation. It was just I was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
I have a good friend of mine who's a bass player on tour. Right? Shout out to Nick Jones. He said, what you have to do is just get in the room. So once you, and so metaphorically, he was saying you get in that room where there are execs or marketing extraordinaires and promotional companies, and just get in the room and just start networking. And the beauty of all of this, people love to drop names. People love to, for lack of a better term, brag about what they do, and that's how you learn who they are. And then in return, I'm not gonna say brag or boast, but in turn, let them know what you do. Hey, we gotta work. Here's my number. And then you form that relationship, you network. So yeah, just being in the room got me on to the We Got Next magazine. Yeah, so sometimes you just gotta get in the room and then just let who you are and let the talent speak for itself.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. Yeah, just being at the right place all the time. I don't know, it's like, I don't know, it is. I wish there was more moments that people, you know, had at least to showcase, like, talents like that, where, you know, show what they can do,
Right.
and possibly do something, or at least get somewhere that they possibly want to, like, be, you know, just like a step in the door type of situation. Like, I know they're like starting to like make different platforms here and there and different like events and whatnot to showcase like different artists. Like I told you before earlier, we had something in detail going on. So, but yeah, it's just crazy.
I'm gonna tell you what an OG told me. If they don't let you in the club, you make your own club. Right. So the message behind that, for example, I wanted to get into doing some shows, but the platforms in the city at the time was kind of like raping the artists just to get on stage, and I wasn't with that. Like I work hard for my dollars, and I'm gonna give you all of this, and you don't give me anything in return, and there's no benefit for me other than being on stage. So I took that same money and I invested into my own show, which was Moment Fest 2022. So sometimes you're gonna have to make your own club. But if you sit around and wait, not saying that's what you're doing, anybody's doing, but sometimes it appears that way. So if you sit down and just wait for opportunities to arrive, you gotta make the opportunity. You gotta go on these underground or group, I'm not gonna say underground, but these groups on Facebook, independent so-and-so, independent podcasts, and get with these groups where, hey, I got a platform that's all come together, like build your own club. And before you know it, because you're doing something, the people that are in the clubs, when they watch you, I want to see what they do, I want to be a part of that. And then they come in and then you got your platform. So it's a lot of work, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible at all.
But to continue, at least in that same question line, so is that what came, or is that how your Moment Fest came about?
That's how it came about, exactly, yeah.
So
I knew the musicians, I knew the artists, I just had to find a venue. And I had a cousin, like, and this is the thing, once you realize what you're passionate about and what you're gifted in, you have the resources around you to get it done. You just gotta tap into it. So I called my cousin who worked at a restaurant in Far Rockaway. I said, yo, this, that, and the third. Yo, cuz I got something, let me just patch you through. Again, networking, again, being in the room. And they booked us up with the owners of Dread Surfer. I forget the guy name. I want to say Charles, something like that. And I just sat down with him, told him what I wanted to do, showed him how he was going to benefit from it, how I was going to benefit from it. He was like, listen, whatever you need, let's get it done. And we got it done.
Get it done, get all the work done, and that's how we benefit both benefit.
Right. And that's how it should be. Like, even being here, we both should benefit from this. It shouldn't be a one-way or you know what I mean, a one street, one-way street. We both have to benefit. And that's what I call good business. That's what I'm about, good business. To have to benefit both parties, not just one. Because those are the deals I don't want to be a part of. Because that's where the shadiness come in. That's when the sharks in the water, the snakes in the grass. That's when that come in. I'm trying my best, and I'm not going to avoid all of them. But I'm trying my best to avoid the ones that are out there.
Yeah, as
much as you can. Right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely makes sense. Like, as much as I definitely love the info, at least music, and you know, wanting to make it and whatnot, or at least doing what I do. At the end of the day, I know that unfortunately it's still a business, and the business aspect of it is something that is like all over the place, and can must be really annoying. Especially for artists that like aren't as big, or you know, ones that are just trying to get anywhere in the industry, and it sucks. So I guess next, what I want to get into is, other than, I'm sorry, I forgot his name earlier when you mentioned him, but were there any other local, you know, artists or producers that you feel that you like seen over the years that have any had a chance to like make any like a few waves around the scene?
Yeah, I know a lot of people. You have an artist out in Bronx called Just Sticks. You have another one. Just put the two together. It's Just Real. I don't know. And then I got Just Chill. I don't know. Maybe Just is the new. I don't know. Like, you remember how back in the day where everything was little this, little that?
Yeah.
Maybe Just is the new thing. I know 3 of them. Again, Vaughn, and then you have King Hilly, that represents SMG. There's so many artists in the Bronx alone that are on their way to, making it big. Like, think about it. You have Ice Spice who's from the Bronx, right? Who's just hot right now. Like Lola Brooke. Like, for whatever reason, the Bronx is hot like right now.
Yeah.
So I think anything coming out of the Bronx is going to be amazing. That's my personal belief. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to be the next big thing out the Bronx.
That's all.
That's another thing I learned, the power of your words. You have to kind of like, change the trajectory of it, the narrative of it. Instead of saying, I might, I am, I'll try. No, do it. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I actually have an album I'm working on now called the Album of the Year. And I'm saying that because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the Album of the Year. I have the right people working on it. I'm taking my artistry, my music to the next level. And I know music. You know what I mean? I believe, I want to say believe, I don't want to come out as arrogant. I believe I know what it takes to make a good record.
I get you.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, you got to be consistent in making good records. And then the other side is you got to know the business. You got to be able to, you know what I mean? Like going into anything, not knowing the business, it's like going to the gym 5 days a week, but still eating double cheeseburgers at night, middle night every day. It's counterproductive. It's not going to work. You have to do it together. You have to exercise and diet in order to see everything come off in a decent time. So the same thing with the music. You have to, and that's something I thought I didn't have to do, but I've learned I have to learn the business. Like there's no, it's called music business for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's no way around it. You gotta learn the business.
Yeah, even being here, I had thought about it like this. For me, is my second chance at college, and I 100% don't want to waste any time with it. And, I want to just be able to get to what I'm trying to get, learn the small intricacies, networking,
right.
Improve on that, build upon that, etc. A whole bunch of other key factors on that. And then, also... And
you have the platform to do so.
Especially now.
Yeah, you have the head start to get it done, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
And then, at least for me, music, at least in program-wise, still working on it. And then, gonna eventually get into business-minded to see if I can apply some of that business knowledge to the industry eventually.
Right.
So... it goes hand in hand, like you said.
Right. And the beauty of it, nowadays we have social media and YouTube where you can look things up, how to get things done, and it's right there. You have the YouTube 3, 4, 5 minute version, and you got the short where it's going to tell you everything in 1 minute. So now is the time to not make excuses for everybody listening, not to make excuses on what you want to do, but the information is there. It's right at your fingertips, it's in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, I understand people, be skeptical because, you could look at a whole bunch of different sources, you never know which one is really telling you, the real facts, and which ones are just taking a whole bunch of things.
But see, the beauty of that is once, you get that information and then you do further information, you'll see if it's lining up or not. Like, for example, when they said in order to get paid for radio spins, you have to have your MP3 encoded, right? Not BDS, that's something else. Have to have it encoded through SoundScan or something to that. So okay, let me look up SoundScan. I read it. Oh, okay, cool. So in the past, when I was sending my music out to radio, they was playing it, but there was no ISRC code connected to it that's gonna take that data from the metadata. Yeah, I said it right. Yeah, right. I didn't know any of that, but this information here put me onto it. Now I gotta do my due diligence and my research to see everything lines up. Like, yeah, definitely don't take what anybody say, you know, just for face value. Like, even listening to me now out there, radio land, like, go look it up, cause I'll probably mess something up, but you know what I mean, by mistake. I didn't mean to do it, but yeah. So always just whatever someone tells you, just look it up for yourself.
And then at least going back a little bit, when I guess actually we'll go on both instances. At least when you first started, what do you feel like, you know, your biggest hurdle where it was, and then, you know, coming out as a producer, rap producer, I should say. Rap producer, like a new term. Like,
I like that, rap producer. I like that.
Yeah, that was like a thing that I've seen from someone I follow. He's also a producer. Like, I don't remember where exactly he's from, but his name is Crank Lucas. Yeah. But when I first saw that, and I saw like one of the captions that he put that up there, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting term to put up there. But what was your biggest hurdle, at least when you first started out, and then like your biggest hurdle, at least starting out now?
Okay, the biggest hurdle in the beginning was my own hurdle, and the word belief. I would work. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in myself based on what was going on around me. Not understanding that what I'm looking for, what I need is really within. So, for example, if I had a show and no one cheered, or if I had a show and none of my friends came, which has happened before. Maybe I'm not good. Maybe this is not my thing. Maybe I shouldn't do this. And that was so that, you know, low self-esteem in the arts, not believing in yourself, not being confident, that really was a big hurdle for me. And it got to a point, like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing this music regardless whether it's this level or whether it's this level. I'm always going to be doing music. If I want to get to this level, which will secure my future, will secure my daughter's future, which will put us in a good space where maybe my legacy won't have to go through the same things I went through coming up, because I already laid the foundation out for them. If I had to get over this hurdle to get there, okay, let's do it. And then that's when I started realizing the answer and everything I needed was within me. Like, God gives everyone something special. You have to really tap in. So that was my biggest hurdle, like tapping in to who I am and being comfortable. And not only being comfortable, being confident in who I am and what I bring to the table. So for every person that don't like my record, there's gonna be somebody that do like my record. And I can't focus on those who don't. So there's like 30 people that don't, just talk small numbers, that don't rock my record. But I gotta find 30 people that do rock my record. Because then they're gonna push it, and they're gonna ask me to come out and do shows. They're gonna ask me to do a birthday party, which has been done. They're gonna ask me to come to their radio station. So I'm gonna focus on those people. And yeah, so that was the hurdle then. The hurdle now is, I tell people, it's hard to sell a secret. At this level, you are a secret to the industry. Because your numbers is not saying 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, they're not watching. I reached out to the executive from Atlantic Records, and because my Instagram numbers wasn't a certain amount, they didn't even listen to the record. They didn't even look at my EPK. They didn't even look at the bio. So I see now the hurdle's gonna be, because now the game is like, it's not about who's talented, it's about who's more influential. And the influence comes based off the numbers. But what's so crazy, I could pay to have 1 million followers.
Yeah, which is the crazy
So
part.
yeah, so you don't go off of that, because I just call somebody, or not even call, hit somebody up on the IG from overseas in one of the third world countries.
Like 1 million bots following me
For $80.
Like,
For $80. Yo, I'm not even gonna hold you. I tried it to see if it was real. It's real. It's real. I bought 500 followers. Now eventually 250 of them cut off on his own, whatever the reason, but I did it. I wanted to see if it was real. The joint is real. So even the verified, the blue check, $14.99 a month. Anybody can get it.
We gotta even go talk about Twitter, like, Twitter blue.
Right. It's on Instagram too, though.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't understand why industries is going off for that number solely, because I could manipulate all of that right now. I do it right now. I don't want to be I don't want them to look at me based off my numbers. I want them to see the drive, the passion. I want them to see the talent. Because that's going to be the longevity of what's going on. A lot of these artists coming out now, they're not going to last 10 years.
Yeah, no,
I promise you. They're getting killed and they're getting locked up. They're not going to last. And then they're not going to get to that bag because corporate America is afraid of them. So they're not going to get to that bag on this side. They just want to stay and get to the bag in hip hop. They're not going to be able to cross over to anything because no one wants to hire someone that's going to get locked up or killed at any given moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all going to go down
It's
there.
either that or, they want to try to do something else and, industry has don't let them do that or, any number of things that it mostly is just like industry related though.
Yeah.
Because it's just so terrible sometimes because like you got so many artists that sit here, like are underground and don't get nothing.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you have, all these artists that just put out the same thing essentially,
right,
or nothing really too special.
You may see the clip. I just put out the clip. It said the title was "What's Wrong with Hip Hop," and I started by saying, unfortunately, violence, sex, and drama sells. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So if you come out right now and you put on the red bandana, no disrespect to the Bloods and Crips, you put on and you go out talking that life, you talk about bang bang, shoot 'em up, you're going to get like followers and shows, and you're going to get to the bag quicker than the person that's rapping about things that are not of that nature. That's just the nature of the beast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I believe we can change all that. I really believe we can change all that.
Yeah. That's the thing though, but it's like ever since way back when you have like real deep roots that like are either impossible to come up or just like really hard to deal with or at least try to change because they've been so established for like so long. It's like they don't gotta change what's not broken.
Right.
And they just keep making money off of it. It's like they don't see the consequences because they're still making money at the end of the day.
Right.
And then the other artists or whatever is in their way, and they use. That's it. They do what they got to do with them, and then stop. You're done. Down to the next one. If it's not Ice Spice, it's the next person. If it wasn't Pop, it was his cousin that kind of sounds like him. But yeah,
they got an artist now, and I forgot to mention, she's coming up. She's from the Bronx. She's coming up big. I don't know if you heard of her out here. Her name is Scarlett. Right? And she's being endorsed right now by Swiss Beats and the whole Rough Rider camp. She got a nice camp behind her, right? So right now she's known for a particular record that's very, very, very aggressive, right? But when you look at her music before this, the girl's talented. She has bars. But this is what got her to the bag.
So, wait a minute. I'm trying to think. Is it the one that
she got the New York record?
The one where it's like, what? I think I know what it is. I don't remember how it went though.
She was
like why do you know we don't like you no more?
Yeah.
Okay, I get
New York record.
Yeah.
Back to F up.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's dope. And I actually reached out to her for production. She's dope. But I just wanted to show you, like, a lot of these artists that are going that route, some of them actually do have talent. She's one of them.
Well, that's the thing though, yeah, because the industry like forces you to do stuff in order to like sit here and say, oh, you want this money, you want X, you want the bag,
right?
You gotta do this for us,
right?
And keep doing that for us. Otherwise, we're not gonna do nothing for you. You're not gonna get published, record sales, and none of that. You're not gonna get that big exposure that you want,
right?
To get more fans.
I do you one even better outside of hip hop. Brandy for a very long time. If you listen to Brandy, like outside of her records, she's an amazing singer. But you're not going to hear that in her records because they told her to dumb it down, like just sing like this. You're not going to understand everything she's doing, everything that she's doing. Yeah, she's an amazing singer, but nobody will ever get to hear it unless they follow her on Instagram and hear her singing, just walking down the street. Like, why didn't you do that for that record? Why didn't you do that? Because the industry kind of watered things down. Again, it's the music business. So they don't think and you're going to sell the way you are, they're going to try to change you and all systems. I do it this way, do it that way. Numbers shows this, numbers show that, and that's what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks as well. Like, they just look at the statistics and all the analytical stuff,
Right.
and then they just say, if these numbers are doing this for X amount of years, or 30 plus years, whatever, then we're gonna keep doing that. We're not gonna change it up just because you feel like you're different.
Right.
And now we're just gonna get, I guess, into the last few questions I had, because like I said earlier, off air, I wanted to make it seem like you were here to really get answer some questions. Yeah, this.
Oh, this vibe for you.
Yeah, this beat that I had. Oh, well, not even I. This beat is from an artist. I don't know if you know him or not. Like, this was a beat that he made. His name is Afro.
Afro. I heard the name before.
Yeah.
Heard the name before.
He's really dope. Like, he started out with Marco Polo and whatnot, but then afterwards started delving into beat making, and he has like 3 beats that I really love. This is one of them.
Yeah, this is dope vibe.
But
I thought about purchasing this. I'm gonna tell you why.
this one,
I'm gonna tell you why. You know how many calls I got this year alone?
Just
Yo, do you DJ? I got a graduation and I got a problem, guys.
hey,
Man, I turned down at least $3K off a DJ. You know what I mean?
you gotta up your arsenal sometimes.
But that's not what I do. I mean, I
guess.
could have took my laptop up there and played a couple joints. But if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I started looking into Serato. Now I'm trying to see how that works, and yeah. So I don't know, like.
Just having this lets you get Serato. Like, just
That's how you say it. So you haven't said it wrong.
no, you're good. Like, not everybody else.
So where your music comes from, like at that point, like, how would you download new music? Because you're not downloading music no more. So how would you get new music onto this?
Realistically, you either connect it to like a specific service, because Serato connects via SoundCloud, Tidal, and like something else.
Okay.
Otherwise,
So I pretty much got to stream everything.
either that or you find your sources variously.
So pretty much just got to figure it out.
Yeah, you find your specific sources, and you find them. And
So I got to spend all this money, right? I already got the speakers, but I got to spend money on this, and probably a new laptop. I'm not gonna mix it with my music because I ain't gonna have no room for anything, and I got to figure it out.
Kind of. They literally throw it. They literally throw you under. Like, you gotta know. You either know what you're doing or you don't. Or, like, if you're learning it, you learn quickly that, like, okay, you have this stuff. Where am I gonna get this on? Oh, there's different services that allow you to either find it, convert, or just sit here and like just connect to services themselves that Serato has. Unfortunately, Serato does not like connect to like Spotify, which I wish it could, because I could just pull literally all of my songs. I have so many songs up on Spotify.
Okay. Wow.
But I do a magical source. We found a magical source to convert them.
So let me show you how easy this is, right?
Yeah.
So because you put that out there, what if Spotify creates something because you put it out there?
So put it on, like,
Right? Now you got a check coming your way, you know what I mean? So that's how quick this stuff can happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is, you want to put it out there for people out there. You know what I mean? That's how quick this stuff really can happen. Just because you named a domain, right? And now they listening, they're gonna supply that. Especially they think this is what the DJs are thinking. It's alone. Imagine if I just had this. Okay, let's make it happen. There's a market for it. So that's what I'm saying. Learning the business, you're able to apply it to anything.
Especially if you don't want to accidentally get shadow banned one day from the platform. That's another story.
I got something for you, DJ, real quick. Hill. The bag I sent you.
Yes.
Let's go through the bag and show the people what you got.
I got the little gift bag, right, and then the other side.
Just to that right there, right. I got a YouTube channel with my daughter called Me and My Dad Chronicles. Long story how it started, she wanted her own channel and wanted her own TikTok. I was like, nah, I'm not having it. Too young. I do something with you.
Yeah.
And then when we did it, we got so much love and feedback from single fathers and other kids that wish they had a relationship. So they started watching us like, yo, I wish I did it with my dad, or that's something I do with my dad. And became like a hit as far as the numbers we have so far. And we just continue running with it. So that's what that is. You know, just
especially when you get hit up, by other parents and whatnot, and like, oh, I see your relationship with your daughter.
Right.
So,
But she's involved. I wish she was here so she could talk a little bit. But she's involved. There she go. That's why you shouldn't leave. Come here. She's involved with the arts and theater. So I'm just trying to, like, as I'm doing my artistry, I'm trying to show her, how to go about doing it as well for her lane. But continue, and then we can say what's up for a second.
Okay, yeah, because definitely, I would especially want to, ask at least one question. But we're gonna get into it, and then I'm gonna pull out. At least I'm gonna put this to the side for now. We're gonna pull out a poster,
right,
with all your socials and your contact information and all of that. It's a pretty dope picture.
Thank you. Shout out to my man Dilly out of PA who took that picture.
And then after next thing, see a little baggie.
That picture was by mistake. I was actually dancing and caught me in the middle of the dance. It just came out hot. Yo, sometimes the beauty is in the mistakes. So
it really is. It really is. It's like the beauty's in the mistakes. And sometimes you get the best out of like something on another.
Yeah, I was dancing. Like, yo, do that again, but stay still. I was like, and it worked.
And then next we got, a little gift bag right here. You got a pen, got a shot glass.
Well, what does it say on the pen?
On the pen. Oh, it says BettaTheProducer. Instagram.com/BettaTheProducer.
Shot glass.
Moment Records.
Right.
That's
my label.
Oh.
Yeah, Moment Entertainment, my label.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about that later.
Okay.
And then afterwards, QR code and also, two QR codes for IG, and I'm assuming this is for UPK?
YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. And then shot glass, and then mints. Oh yeah, I recently...
Those are better mints.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, it's like, I saw that.
You missing it.
I saw that, I'm like... What made you get into the mints?
My camera woman. Nah, shout out to Moda. That's Shannon's mom. Dope co-parent, right? Dope friend, dope co-parent, and she's been on this journey with me. We got a kid together, right? So anything that she has a degree in business. So anything that she thinks it's a good idea. Hey, have you tried this? It's all her idea. Like, if I would have came on myself, it just would have been a shirt, right? But it's all idea. But she's like, hey, you want to do this? You want to do that? So you need a real good, in any business you do, you need a real good assistant. Not saying she's my assistant because she don't want to take that job, but she, whenever there's a need, she'll throw it out there. Hey, you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then we get it done. So shout out to her for that. And she handled the business with the park. Like I said, I got the crack windshield coming up here. These daggone truckers were 95, 91, and 84. Yeah. But anyway, is there anything else in there that you want to?
Yeah. I see it. I really see it. We got the shirt tied up nicely in the bag, and I'm full of strength.
And when y'all finally put those on, Sean, you gotta call me, you gotta tag me, you gotta do something. Let me know y'all wearing it. You know what I mean? We know. Matter of fact, on homecoming. That'd be a good look for me. On homecoming, just throw it on real quick.
Listen, you know what? If anything, where exactly did you put this? Get this custom from?
My brother. Shout out to Aaron. My brother did that. My brother, Aaron, my older brother. He's an artist. And and I was like, at first it started out with the Charlie Brown characters, right? And I was like, yo. If you can get all these people or flip it and make them black, I think that would be dope. So that's what he did. So he went out with the cartoon characters for a while. I'll show you a picture of that later. And it was dope. I was like, I want it more personal. can you take that one right there, make him look like me, and then put him on the piano since I play piano, and then I put him in the flip flops and the hat, make him look like me, the beard and everything. He drew it up on his iPad, and he just sent it to me, and that was that. So shout out to my brother Aaron for doing that.
If anything, I like, like I said earlier, even though we didn't have extra shirts, because Belgium and whatnot, at least for now.
Right.
When we do, I could probably see about getting at least this put on the shirt on top of our logo as well. So it's a little special one-of-one, thing.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I'm just taking a picture. Yeah, that'd be dope. Alright, don't forget homecoming. I gotta put that on. I'm gonna call you, cause like I said, I got people up here, so when that kid go back to school, I'll be like, yo, DJ hit him, what's going on? Like,
I don't even know when our homecoming will be in this semester. I think they're gonna be like way later. But regardless,
that's the beauty about the internet. You can find everything out. So as soon as your faculty figure it out and throw it up there, we gonna know.
Yeah, as long as it's some other details. Yeah. But one detail, I guess I might as well ask and throw in for a question for lovely daughter. Yeah.
Put your headphones on so you can hear. Shout out to Shannon being in the building. There you go.
So what made you want to get a YouTube channel or do like TikTok?
I've been trying to find my jacket into TikTok and keep saying no. The thing I love about YouTube is I can entertain people all around the world to inspire them to do stuff when they grow up, because I want to be an actress and a songwriter. And yeah, I really love it.
So, do you like making content with the props?
Yeah, it's really fun.
So I haven't necessarily looked into it, but what have you guys made together so far?
You want to take this one? We have our life. Just her and I hanging out is like you always gotta have the camera running with my sense of humor, her sarcasm. Something could just drop at any moment. Get it? Well, exactly. That's the name of the label. So you know what I mean? Something we put out recently. We got this thing called Make Me Laugh, right? So we'll watch a YouTube video, something she picks out, and she has to show me what she thought was funny, and she has to make me laugh. And we'll watch it, and then on the screen you see me and her watching it. On the bottom you see the video, and I'm watching it, and it's not rehearsed, and she literally has to make me laugh by this video. And the video she picked was corny, so I did not laugh. So in me being serious and me that I get out of here, that's whack, that's corny, her reaction is priceless, and it gets hits, and we get a lot of hits from the ladies. Not to say that's why I'm doing it, but we get a lot of hits from the ladies like, oh, that's so sweet. But hey, if we're doing analytics, that's some people that's watching right now. That's right. That's my target audience, because they remember their experience with their father, and what's so sad is the majority of them didn't have their father. So this is something they never experienced. So they kind of literally living their childhood through us. And that sounds crazy, but these are the emails that I'm getting. These are the comments. If you go on YouTube, these are the comments. Oh, I didn't have a dad. This is good. I'm in tears. And we just being who we normally are. Like, I think we have like 2 videos that's scripted that she created, which is crazy. Well, other than that, it's just us just hanging out and doing different challenges. Like one we did the stuff we can't do at home, what we can do in a hotel room. And then she's jumping from bed to bed, and these kids, they love it. Like this content, they love it. And then for me, it's dope because I get to put my music behind it. So now I promote my music as well. Exactly. So she's getting her experience, and I'm getting my exposure. So we're kind of working together. So yeah,
that's a nice thing to really do.
Do you have a favorite video you could think of?
Yes, it's when I made my first YouTube skit. I'm gonna spoil it, I'm sorry. But it's me, Jamie, because I always wanted that name, as a spy, and Triple G is trying to help me get the button from World of Destruction. I'm trying to stop it. And at at the last second, everything starts to distract and I can't get out of there. So then we just end it with
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Hang a cliff. I like that one though. Let's make it up. Hang a
a
cliff.
cliffhanger. And I had purple yarn and I strapped it all over my room so it looked like lasers.
Listen, let me interject real quick. I walked in her room and I opened the door and I had to literally just stop because like from the doorway it was strings everywhere. You ever see Mission Impossible? How you turn off the lights as lasers? That's what she was trying to duplicate. And she duplicated with the yarn. So I literally can't walk in. So I'm like, how do you get in here? She comes crawling out and then she goes back in. You have to go this way, come up, put your left leg over this one. Then it was some yoga twister type joint in mid-air. And I'm like, okay, I can't even go in your room. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a fire, I can't even get to you. I'm gonna get tangled up in the string, and I ain't gonna be able to get out. You know?
Yeah, be fine. The fire, you can be fine strings.
Right. So she wrote this whole script, and she was like, "Can you read this?" And then I did the editing, and I put everything together, and it really looks like if you could get away from the kitchen and the bedroom scene, and like if we had like Disney or Hollywood back in the South, it was a really good script for kids. Almost reminded me of what's that show was in there? It reminded me of that.
I love that show.
And I'm like, this kid got some talent here. I might have to like, she may be the one to blow me. But if it is, that's my purpose. That's what it is. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she dope. I'm not just saying that because she's related to me. She's really dope. She's very creative.
So, at least, YouTube. Like, I don't know how to word it. So, what exactly do you I guess, like, other than, like, obviously the experience and exposure, I guess, at the end of the day, you know, when you look back at it, like, what is, I guess, your goal? I guess it's like,
okay, I got you. You know, the goal is to create never-ending memories. So when we long and gone, her kids will go up there and look at grandpa and look at mommy and see how much fun they have. That's the goal. Now, if it goes up to a Nickelodeon deal, Disney deal, I'm all for it. But that's not the goal. The goal is to create memories. The goal is to have a good time with some things that we have in common that we love to do together. And that's the goal. Again, if any of the materialistic things come with it, then great. But the goal is just to spend time with my daughter and have some fun. And that's the goal. Yeah.
And at least one last question for the
Okay.
So what made you want to become an actress, at least so young so far?
These some good questions. You good. This
I
one
gotta think
cool.
about this too. Well, I love being an actress so I can express my emotions so people don't actually know when I'm hurt. Like when I'm sad about something, I just act or write a monologue. And I also was in the voice production this last school year. And it was really fun to be with my friends, making new friends, just experience something I never experienced before. And this great feeling about me.
So what grade are you in?
Oh, we're going to 7th.
Oh, going to 7th. So you're right in the middle of middle school. They're growing.
Yeah, right. This last year, it was like kindergarten and now middle
school, and
then
next high school.
Right. I'm glad I got all my licenses, if you know what I'm talking about. He's locked, loaded, and ready to go.
Alright, like hand in hand, it ties into it. So, I know you mentioned earlier, you were working with White Glove and whatnot. So, what was your experience like, at least with White Glove?
Oh man, that was indescribable. I learned so much and I experienced so much. Just walking in the studio in any given day, seeing the artists that you look up to and the artists you always wanted to meet and speak to. Just walking past the hallway as regular people.
Trying hard not to.
Right. Nah, I wasn't starstruck. I was starstruck, but they didn't know it. I'm not going to show. I'm not gonna
You're trying hard not to.
Even when I first met Wycliffe, I said, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" Like that's why I have no pictures with him.
You're like,
after
hey,
all
what's
these
up?
years working with him, I was like, "Oh, I had to keep it cool." But to see Janet Jackson walk past, right?
Oh, really?
So I tell you, I give you even one. We got kicked out the studio
Just
because she landed in New York and she wanted to record a record, and she wanted, and it was 2 studios on the floor, and she wanted both studios. She wanted 50 candles in this one, 100 candles in this one to set the tone, right? And we was in the middle of a session, and we had to go to the Penthouse studio because she came through, and that was that. And they kicked us off the floor, so before she even got in the elevator to come upstairs, we had to be gone. I snuck back downstairs like, yo, I left my hard drive, right?
funny.
Come on, like Janet Jackson coming up here and I can't see her?
That's
You crazy, Clef? Like, so I snuck back downstairs, took the stairs, not the elevator, because I got the cameras in the elevator, right? Took the stairs now, and I was just walking, I gotta get my hard drive. And I seen it.
a sneaky
I got a little peek. I saw the little mole and do it, you know. But yeah, it was stuff like that. Meeting Juvenile, that was big. Wyclef had a lot of friends in Hollywood, so you've seen a lot of actors and actresses. I forgot the guy's name. He played in Amistad. That's what he was known for. African guy. I forgot his name.
It's him?
Yeah, that's him. Right.
Jesus.
So Clef was real cool with him. So he was always in the studio.
Martin?
No, the other guy. Exactly. That's a shame.
Okay.
I can't pronounce the guy's name. He's a good friend of Clef, so we see him all the time. It was remember the actor Leon? Leon was always in the studio. Queen Latifah was always in the studio. Reverend Run will come by. Going back to Hollywood. Let's see. There was a couple other actors and actors I can't think of right now. But yeah, just to see all of them. Like, forget about the production, because that's something I do. That's something I know we could vibe out. I remember, I got this one story where Cassidy came to the studio. We had a show at Webster Hall, the club in New York City. And after every show, we'll go back to the studio and just listen to some music and vibe out. And other people would do other things, but I wasn't into that. So we in the studio, and Clef's like, yo, let's start the cypher, right? This is before battle rap was battle rap. This is like, it started off like people being in the studio and just battling each other, right?
Yeah.
So these guys were battling, and they was eating my guy up. The guy named was Hef, right? And my man Ant was like, Mo, they get Hef, you got to represent from the Bronx. Now, Ant was the only one who I rap. I didn't tell nobody I rap, right? So I ain't gonna lie, I had a couple, glasses, Hypnotic, but I was popular back then, right? So I'm a little nice, got a little buzz, and I think that enhanced my lyrical ability because I'm saying things I didn't even know I knew I could say. I'm coming up with schemes from the top of my head. Normally, I write rhymes all week and I memorize it. I was going off the top, and long story short, I destroyed these guys. Cassidy come in the building. The guy said, "Yo, Mo said." Now Cassidy, he already got the song out with Swiss Beats and My Dog House got a backyard got a backyard, whatever that scheme was. So he was like, "Oh, or you want to go for it?" And I am nervous, and I don't know what. Like, he's not gonna know I'm nervous. So I'm like, yo, they dropped the beat. Now, if anybody know Cassidy, he could get you on the beat, but he's gonna get you even more without the beat. Because now he don't gotta worry about the rhythm. He could just go for it. They stopped the beat. I'm like, okay. I think this was probably a little before the situation with him and Freeway. And I'm like, yo, I go for it. Cause that's enough, cool. All right, Cass, yo, you got the floor, go ahead, do your thing. And he stopped the battle. You saved me, right? The next day I said, yo, Clef, you really saved me. He was like, nah. He was like, yo, I think you would have been able to handle him. I'm like, He goes, nah, Mo, you was really on like you was on Supernova. Like, I think you would have given him run for his money. Nevertheless, I don't think so, honestly. Not at that time. And when I say Cass got up there, he rapped for 10 minutes straight. I'm not exaggerating. It's not over. It's 10 minutes. It got to a time where I just went and sat down. I was tired of standing. And I put my timer on and he went an additional, that's how I know it's 10 minutes. Him and this rapper named Nico. They just rap each of them 10 minutes straight, no breaks. I'm like, yo, what are you breathing at? So imagine that story times 2-3 years being with him. I have stories. But that was the most fun I've had though. You know, seeing celebrities and being a part of their everyday activities. And like I said, I didn't partake in the other stuff. That's just not my thing. But just creating music and bugging out and meeting people and meeting celebrities, that was dope.
And obviously, we're going through names and whatnot, a whole bunch of different heads and whatnot. And this is gonna be like, a more generic question, but it's gotta be asked at least sometimes. Your biggest inspiration at least.
This question I get asked a lot. But it's a little different. They ask me who inspired me to be who I am now. That one I can't answer because I've listened to so many people. Exactly. So I can't hone in on one particular person nor genre. But right now, the one person, actually two. But you ask me one, so I'll give you one.
You can name one too.
I would say Jay-Z and 50. Because of where they, not just what they did musically, what they're doing outside of music. Right. So when it's all said and done, yes, I want to go down for being one of the greatest producers of all time. I want to be there. I want to be mentioned in the same breath as Quentin Jones. I want to go off and do movies and things of that nature. I've done independent movies, that's dope. But I want to be on that level. But I say they inspire me because I'm not the person that's going to get into something just to stop here. I'm going so I can't go any further. And I believe those two in particular are going so they can't go any further. Like, did he stop? He good. He's just doing whatever he's doing.
He's in side quest mode now.
Right. Jay still, selling businesses and acquiring businesses. He's not done. 50's just bought a warehouse to shoot to build his studio, his movie studio.
Yeah.
He still got more power. So, it's never ending.
I don't know. I've never seen a single episode of that. I'm not gonna hold you.
I ain't gonna hold you. I should be promoting me, but I'm gonna promote Fifth. That power joint is something serious. It's well written, it's well produced, it's a great series.
At first, that's what I kept hearing. They're like, "Oh, this is amazing," and then afterwards, a few seasons later,
Now I ain't gonna lie, some of the action and the violence get crazy. It's like, yo, y'all really doing all of this? But the storylines, I'm into the art. The storylines, the acting, the way they connected this to what happened 6 seasons ago. That's incredible for everybody to be consistent with what they wrote 6 years ago to make it connect. So my thought process, did y'all write this knowing y'all was going here? Or you got here and made it fit to where you were? Either way, that's dope in my opinion. You know what I mean? So that's why I like that. It's not for the violence. It's for everything that goes into creating that brand. And like I said, I don't get into anything to hit the cap. I'm trying to go past that. I think they said that in one of his rhymes, that when is high enough? He was like, when we rubbing elbows with the higher up. Yeah, that was perfect right there.
So did you feel other than the fact that we had a whole pandemic and your associated tasks with other people and whatnot, how did you feel like there was time that you needed to sit here and essentially just flip into a career change, essentially?
The career change came in 2016.
Oh yeah.
And then to add into that, what exactly, like, you know, before all of that, what were you necessarily doing beforehand as a career? Before you being a producer?
As for career, I was a full-time musician. So I will play church, and I will also I make a living out of it, playing for churches, playing for anything that was needed music, I got the call for. So I'm not going to say I've never had a conventional 9 to 5, but my resume is more music than it is a 9 to 5. But I was able at a young age to secure that position where, opposed to putting in 40 hours a week, I'll put in 5-6 hours on the weekend and got the same thing that will give 40 hours or even more. So it was never less. So I understood the concept of work smarter, work harder. I don't have a boss, I'm not knocking anybody that has a boss.
Yeah.
I don't have somebody telling me when to come in, when to leave. You gotta stay, you gotta, messing up my paycheck. I didn't have to deal with that. And then there was one time where I actually had to go back to work, right? It's a long story. And just to have that person like over my shoulder, that bothered me. I was like, I gotta get out this situation. And so what I did, long story short, I worked my way up. It was a security job, right? Within a year, I worked myself from being an officer to a supervisor to the head of HR within a year. Because that's how much I could not stand somebody over my shoulder.
This is kind of like a similar situation because I actually do security myself.
Okay. Okay.
And,
I can understand it. I had those shifts where it was time to go pick her up or to be with her for the weekend. And because that person didn't want to come to work, they wanted to go to the beach, they called out 10 minutes before they're supposed to be in.
Oh no.
And getting stuck on that shift.
Oh.
So now I'm doing a double and I'm not getting off to midnight.
That happened at my old post. That happened at one of my old sites, which was a site that was literally right down the street or up the street from where I currently at. So, at least for me, my situation was, just a commute. That's really it. It was just a drive to my job. I would have just 40 minutes to get there, and I'm only working weekends.
Yeah, I get that.
So it's like, okay, you're like, this is your first time here, you wouldn't know the city. So it's like, I'm from Waterbury, I'm driving from here to Danbury.
40 minutes is 40 minutes. I don't care where you at, so I get it.
Yeah. It's like 40 minutes. It's like,
and then you're not making, like, you probably losing more money getting to work
and especially in today's economy. Man.
So
it's the gas that's the killer, bro.
Yeah, I get it. And then after being in HR for like a year, I was like, you know what? I gotta get back to my music. I don't want to be here. At this point, again, I don't have, even though I'm still not bossless, but you still have headquarters and things of that nature. Right, exactly. They didn't bother me too much, but it was still like, okay, so now the thought process was, okay, so I'm putting in 12 hours a day, I'm making great money, but it's not, like, I'm not investing in myself. Like, whoever owns this company is invested. His kids got college paid for. He's probably sitting in a big mansion, feet up at the fireplace, and I'm making him money. I gotta make me money. So that's when the mindset shifted. That was in 2015, 2016. And I remember they tried to, there was some workers that didn't come in for one particular post. They tried to get me to go out there and work a post. It was in my contract, once I get to the office, I'm not going back in the field. And the area manager's like, nah, I don't care, you're going out of the field. Or if you don't, hand me your keys. So I was like, all right, here's my keys. No thought. I don't have no money coming in at this time. I wasn't playing at the church, no thought. I just gave him my keys. I was like, nah, I'm good. I gotta invest in myself.
If that's in your contract, they can't force you to do that. And then when I say you're cool enough.
And I'm head of HR, so I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
It makes no sense. It's like, how you pull that?
So I gave him my keys, and I haven't turned back since. I've just been doing music, and I've been okay.
Working out for you so far. Right?
Yeah.
So then, at least.
Now I'm not telling everybody to go quit their job.
Yeah.
Like, I had something to fall back on. With worst case scenario, I go to the corner church, say, hey, you need a musician?
Yeah.
And they say, yeah, I'm in there. So, you know what I mean? So I had another I don't want to call it a hustle. I had other terms of getting in the bag. Right.
At least in my case, being here, listen, like music is 100% my plan A, B, and C. It should be just my plan A, B, and C. But for me, there's not really too much interest in what else.
Let me cut you off real quick. You know why that's a good plan, A, B, and C? Because if you had another plan and it got difficult, then you'll go to your plan. You'll put yourself in position to where this is do or die. So you either do it or you want to get rich and die trying. So you either want to do it or
that was my
right. So a lot of people are like, no, you got this backup plan. The backup plan gives you an excuse to throw in the towel when it gets difficult. Because I promise you, it's going to get difficult. You're going to be, and you probably already experienced, you're going to get behind on rent. You're going to get behind on car notes. You're going to need some money for your kid or whatever. It's going to get difficult. You have to stay the course. That's the difference between those who made it, those talented ones who made it, and those talented ones who didn't. That's the difference.
I'll do one last question. One
more time for the lead.
Okay.
But okay, what's your question?
Okay. So then, through the course of the whole interview and whatnot, you have little snippets, little nuggets. So it only seemed right to just ask if you have any other drums of knowledge or any other up-and-coming artists or producers or just anyone who is trying to get into the industry in some other capacity.
Yeah, and again, it's probably myself repeating, but learn the business, make your own club, get yourself in the room. Learn the business, make the club, get yourself in the room, and your drive and your passion is going to do the rest, and your character is going to do the rest. That's what I tell people oftentimes, the talent is the easy part.
Yeah.
You already have that. That thing that's special in you already have it. Now it's getting them to see it. Now how you gonna do that? By not giving up, by getting in the room. You know what I mean? By being consistent. I believe, I know I said I wanted to talk about the Suso, but I believe what sets me aside from a lot of artists on this level is I work anyway. Like, I don't know any producer that's banging out 5-6 records in a day, and then they don't have that recording them, and they're doing like that's how the pandemic project came out, because I knew people weren't going to work during this time. Like, I'm gonna work. I literally, if I'm focused on the project, I don't leave the studio till that song is done from beginning to end. Now, if I got to go back because I missed something, I am cool. But once I start something, I'm not going to stop. I'm relentless in that way. So I know I may not be the most talented, I may not be the most attractive or whatever the case may be, but I'm going to outwork anybody that step up to the plate. I gotta tell you, there was a video, my daughter called me on the phone, and the guy was telling me someone to get on the record with me. This is a guy that I knew. So I was like, yo, let him know. Don't come soft. Like, my whole purpose, once you get on the record with me, I'm going to outdo you. That's what's going to keep me elevated. That's like my own competitive nature. I compete with myself. I really don't compete with you, but it sounds like I am, but I'm not really competing. My job is to outdo you. My job is to get on the record and have you talk about my verse, not yours, right? I don't really want that per se, because I will never knock the next man, but that's why I have to put in my mind to make myself be the best me I can be. I think Killer Mill said that. Killer Mill said he made up a story about David Robinson hating on him as a kid, so he could go out there and bust his behind. And that's what he did. So he made up his own narrative. You know what I mean? And Mike do the same thing. You see the clip. Mike have an off night, Mike. Oh, really? And he get up and drop 40 on you. So that's my competitive nature is going to be what's different between me and that person. You got another question?
This is truly the last question.
It's all good, brother.
This is truly the last question. I literally thought about it even though I haven't read from the bridge.
Okay.
So, you know, after everything said and done with your latest projects, what's next?
Well, what's next? Vaughn has a project coming out. That's the guy that featured on Love Me. I have an artist on my label named Music Child, not Music Soul Child, but Music Child. Female vocalist from Jersey. I'm actually working on her project now. And then I'm working on the album of the year, which is going to be probably like 11 or 12 cuts. So simultaneously, I'm working on 3 other projects outside of the 15 I'm pushing this Love Me. I'm going to push Love Me probably until the beginning of next spring. I'm going to keep pushing because even though you heard it, even though Sean heard it, there's probably some other people who haven't heard it. So my thing is to make sure everybody hears this record before I move on to the next record. Because like I said, I believe I have something special and I believe I have something to offer the industry and offer the world. And I'm not going to stop until everybody gets to hear it.
Okay. And with that, I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, like, I know I said the question on that right now, but this is pretty much the end. So, like, when, like, do you have like a timetable for like your project release or anything that you still work with it?
I normally don't give times on it, and I'll tell you why. I don't want to say summer of 2024, and the summer of 2024 is not here. So I don't give dates and times until the project is complete and it's in my phone, and I'm about to upload it to DistroKid. So I don't, and then at that point, I'll give you like the date 6 months in advance, something like that, and I get ready to promote it. But I normally don't do that because I know as a fan, if the person I like is saying this when the album come out and it don't come out that time, now you lost my interest, I'm going somewhere else. I'm not in a position where I can lose my interest. So if I got you, I'm gonna keep you. So I don't put anything out. Now the game plan is to have it out by next summer. Cause I like to have a project out once a year at least. But I'm not gonna put the date until you know what I mean? I already got like 2 songs recorded from album of the year.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and like I said, it's gonna be a 12 album cut. So I only got 2 of them recorded.
That makes sense. At least to keep, you know, the fans that you've had so far in suspense will hopefully waiting and whatnot. But yeah.
But I tell you this, if you follow me on the Instagram, you'll be along with the process of creating, because I'm still creating. So I go on, I make beats live, and I let you hear the beat. I do all of that stuff. So if you tune in, you'll be a part of the process and part of the journey in all the projects that I'm working on. And then you get an up close experience and things of that nature.
I would say trust the process, but I'm not a big fan. So trusting the process really was not a good idea. But that's another trip for another time.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.